Welcome to episode 253 of the Ross Bolen podcast, otherwise known as RBP 253, presented by Bolen Media. I am your host, Ross Bolen, here today, the way I came into the world and the way I will go out, alone. Heavy opening alert. By the way, we threw in the old intro song here. No disrespect to Sam O'Hare or the new intro, obviously. We've enjoyed it thoroughly all year long. It just felt right for the last episode of 2019 that we throw in the old intro, pay some homage to our beginnings. Today is December 30th. This is our last new episode of the year of our sock, 2019. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, one of the biggest holidays of the year for many of you. For me, though, not a big New Year's Eve guy. Love the concept, love the idea of a New Year's resolution, absolutely despise our execution of the celebration as a society. And I'm not the first to say it, obviously. I won't be the last, and it's not the first time I've said it either, but New Year's Eve is a booty cheeks holiday. Worst and most overrated and overhyped holiday of all time, bar none. It totally stacks the deck against you. New Year's Eve is essentially like if you started Game of Thrones now. Like, look, we all know how it ends. It doesn't end well. It's been talked about and talked about and talked about, and people won't shut the fuck up about it. And in reality, it sucks. It's expensive, it's flashy, but it's lacking in substance. That's New Year's Eve. And I realize the temptation is heavy to just get blackout drunk and go into 2020, a brand new decade, violently hungover, miserable, half alive. But for those of you who want to roll in clear-minded, I will obviously not be drinking. And in fact, breaking news, I am considering a run at a substance-free January as well. A month. As stupid as it is to go into a new year, much less a new decade, feeling like butthole, wouldn't it be just as smart to use the first calendar month as an opportunity to set yourself up for success the rest of the year? Lame? Maybe. Smart? Definitely. Suck my balls if you disagree? For sure. Moving on. RBP 253 is brought to you by Leesa, makers of the most comfortable mattress in the entire world. If you spent this entire year not sleeping on a Leesa, you're an idiot. And it's time to change that. Your mattress is the most important purchase you are ever going to make for your place. More important than your living room television. Whether you're grinding in a studio apartment or you've got a 4-bedroom house with 2 kids or some shit, having a fantastic bed for your body and mind to rest every night is paramount. And Leesa knows that. They know how important rest is to a better life. Leesa is the foundation of a healthier, happier you. And to Leesa, a bed is more than just a place to sleep. It's a place for relaxation and rest. All of their products have been thoughtfully designed to go beyond creating a comfortable bed to transform your bedroom into a sanctuary you actually want to spend time in. I've been sleeping on their Hybrid by Leesa. The most comfortable bed I've ever laid eyes or body on. It's made with premium foams and springs for enhanced pressure relief with edge-to-edge support. Thoughtfully designed with the best of both worlds. If you don't have a Leesa yet, if you have yet to pull the trigger, if you've been waiting all year long, now is the time. Leesa donates 1 mattress for every 10 they sell through organizations that work in causes like foster care prevention. To date, they've donated more than 33,000 mattresses through more than 1,000 nonprofits. So not only are you going to sleep better, be more comfortable, be more rested, you're going to feel better because you're making the world a better place just by going with Leesa. In-home delivery and setup is available. Financing also available. Do not miss out, RBP gang. Go into 2020 living healthier, living happier, resting deeper. Order today and get 15% off any mattress for a limited time at leesa.com/RBP. Use the promo code RBP. That's LEESA.com/RBP. Promo code RBP. Keep in mind, you also get a 100-night risk-free trial plus free shipping and returns. If you're new to our show, the Ross Bolen podcast, almost every episode is broken down into segments, which you can find below with time cues in the description. Now, some episodes are going to have a special guest or a special topic and be an exception to that rule and be less segmented. But typically the idea is this. We segment the podcast, we timestamp all the different topics so you can consume at your own pace based on your work or school or whatever schedule rules your life. You don't have to have listened to a single one of the 252 preceding episodes of RBP in order to enjoy episode 253. But if you like today's show, of course we ask that you go back, get caught up, enjoy all those old episodes when you've got the time. Soak them in. A couple of announcements. First, I am a professional Apex Legends player now. You can watch me play at twitch.tv/Ross Boss Rollin', like Ross Bolen, but with the B and the R reversed. So creative and clever. Follow us on Instagram at The Ross Bolen Podcast, where every day we fill up our story with photos and videos sent in by you, our listenership, the RBP gang. We are also on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod, and we're on Facebook if you're the middle-aged aunt of one of our listeners. 2 amends, 3 amends. President Abraham Lincoln did not enjoy retirement. Richard Nixon did not enjoy impeachment. The population of China is 1.427 billion. It's time for our first segment, End of Year Blues. So I wanted to take a segment at the top here to say shouts to everybody getting their ass kicked by the end of the year. The holidays, particularly in December and January, in my experience, and in just human experience, can be really, really tough and really rough. Like if you've got family issues, if you're going through personal stuff or professional stuff for that matter, it's all magnified so much during this period. And some people get really, really down as a result. I watched this really uplifting film called Joker the other night, and it had this incredibly positive message that you should just smile. And I just wanted to pass that along to all of you. Just smile and it'll be fine. I'm kidding. Although I did finally watch Joker not on edibles, and holy shit, that is not an uplifting film to watch during your end of the year blues cycle. But 2019 is over, fam. If this was a tough one for you, all the shit that came for you this year, all the beatings you took, they no longer hold sway over you. You can move forward, onward, and upward. Take your experiences from this year and build on them. That's the idea, right? With every minute, every day, every hour, every week, every month, every year, you take what you get and you try to build. That's all we can do as human beings. And not every calendar year is going to turn out all cherries and gumdrops. Sometimes pain and struggle are necessary for growth. In fact, those are the only ways I've ever found true growth as a human being. Annoying and insane as that may be, through pain and struggle. That is the only way I've ever found real growth. And sometimes that's just the way it works. I mean, that's just shit. That's just life, baby. On Twitter, I was joking that God ran my 2019 roster on some Daryl Morey shit, trading or cutting everybody. Going to be a lot of new faces next year. And that's the way it goes sometimes. So for everybody out there who is struggling with the end of the year blues, heads up. You don't have to smile, but you do have to fight every goddamn day. Fight the good fight. Do not go gentle into that good night. 2020 is our year, and we're going to make sweet, passionate, unadulterated love to it like never before. And if 2019 was just such an utter shitstorm for you, as it admittedly has been for me, then there's this to make you feel better. Next segment. Cats takes $100 million loss. Y'all know I'm a big fan of the play Cats. I don't know if you've heard, but they made it into a movie. Again, a movie that cost an outrageous amount of money to put together, and one that is failing in spectacular fashion and being panned to a degree that we've maybe previously never seen. This is getting dumped on in the funniest of fashions. Feline fashions. It made $38 million globally in its first 2 weeks in theaters. That is not good, because I'm pretty sure they spent more than that on the cast alone. It's expected now, okay, according to Variety, according to all the different entertainment sources out there at this point, this has been reported everywhere, expected to suffer a $100 million loss. Okay? It had a $6.5 million domestic debut, failed to gain any traction after, has made $8.7 million over the 5-day holiday period, which means that's like if 5 people in every city go. Do you have any idea how many empty theaters there were with 3 sad Cats fans or a confused homeless person in there? Because of Cats? So many theaters, bro. You know how many employees were walking in and out, like the fucking popcorn ladies, just like, Jesus Christ, one of these people is a serial killer. There's only 4 of them in here. And they're watching Taylor Swift and Idris Elba dressed as furries. The only people going to see this film are furries at this point. Anybody else in that theater, in fact, it's safe to say that's what this is. Cats is only serving as a meetup spot for furries now. You buy a ticket, you go to the theater, everybody else in that theater is a furry. meaning that they fuck each other with stuffed animal costumes and whatnot. Go watch Entourage, you ignorant scum. But that's what this is. It's just a furry magnet now. If you're a normal human being and you go to see cats, you're at risk. You're going to become a furry or be attacked by them. The only people in there, furries. Allegedly. Can I be sued by Paramount or Universal Studios? Who owns cats? Come at me, Andrew Lloyd Webber. In all seriousness, it is still the worst play ever written. It made an even worse movie. And producer Grant and I were actually talking about this before we went on the air today. I think I have to go. I think I have to go see it in theaters. Stoned, surely, but I think I have to. I don't know how stoned. It looks like it could be a terrifying experience, but I can't not go see this $100 million bomb that I've waited for and hated on for so long. We were talking about how much cats sucked before this movie was even in the works. So this is almost like it's come like the full story is over now. It's come to fruition, you know? And I have to go see how it ends. Because this is probably it for cats. I don't know if anybody will take another swing at this in my lifetime. This is as bad of a swing and a miss as you can have in Hollywood. Considering the cast, considering that you're working with an already established brand, considering that most of the work is CGI. Oh, man. But that's what you get when you put all your eggs in the Mr. Mistopheles basket. You fucked around with a movie in a franchise and a story that had a character named Mr. Mistopheles. And this is what you get. $100 million? And by the way, as I again said on Twitter, at WR Bolen, look, whoever backed this thing financially deserves that L. Deserves the $100 million loss. Because this is just... How you didn't see this coming? I just don't... The cast alone. What? Taylor Swift, Jennifer Hudson, James Corden, Idris Elba, Judi Dench, Ian McKellen, Rebel Wilson, Jason Derulo. Jason Derulo is in this fucking movie, and it lost $100 million. Or is expected to. All those names, all that money they spent on those people. All right, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. Let's say 8. Conservatively, 8 people getting paid at least $1 million, right? They all show up. How long did this take to shoot? Every day in a fucking... So it's not only you lose your dignity, because God knows how many hours you spend in the makeup chair getting turned into a cat. Then they CGI you on top of that. Then you're out there dancing and singing. This is every actor's worst nightmare. Why would anybody sign up for this? It's shocking to me that Cats still exists on Broadway, much less that it was turned into a movie that could then bomb $100 million. It's just one of the... Very few things have tickled my fancy as much as Cats bombing in the spectacular fashion that it has. So if 2019 was tough for you, just remember, at least you're not the moron who thought it would be a good idea to turn Cats into a major Hollywood production starring Taylor Swift as Bombalurina, Jennifer Hudson as Grisabella, Idris Elba as McCavity. All of the names make you want to murder the cat. Old Deuteronomy, Rum Tum Tugger. Why? And then there's Mr. Mistopheles, played by Laurie Davidson, who has just jumped to the top of a short list of most punchable actors in the world for me as a result of being Mr. Mistopheles. RBP 253, also brought to you by betonline.ag, with whom we're still giving away 2 tickets to an NFL game, by the way. Details at the end of this read. BetOnline.ag is America's favorite online sportsbook and has been in business for almost 20 years now. They offer all the football and sports betting you could ever ask for, all the playoff games coming up, all the division playoffs, the wild card round in the NFL, the rest of the college football playoff. Hockey's going right now. We got soccer going across the sea. You could bet on who's going to win MVP. There's all types of prop betting. If you don't bet sports now and you're unfamiliar, not only can you bet on each individual game, you can bet on cool props with individual players, how many rushing yards a player will get, who will win MVP, who will, all that kind of good stuff. All you have to do is open up and fund your account with at least $55. Now, I've had a couple of you hit me up and say, Ross, I went to betonline.ag. I used your code Ross. I didn't get my 50% deposit bonus. And here's because you only put $50 in. It's $55 minimum. Okay, up to $1,000, $55 minimum. You just go to betonline.ag, you sign up for your account, you use the code Ross when you make your first deposit, and you'll get that 50% deposit bonus and start winning today. BetOnline has been a AAA rated sportsbook for years. They pay out your winnings fast. Once again, go to betonline.ag, use the code Ross for 50% deposit bonus. So much sports right now at the end of the year. Best time of the year for betting on sports. Going into January, so much fun. Again, the code is Ross, 50% deposit bonus, stipulations apply. Have fun and be responsible as always. And if that 50% deposit bonus wasn't enough, we are still letting y'all get your tags in to join this contest for this NFL ticket giveaway. We're just giving away 2 tickets up to $500 in value to an NFL game, and you can get your account open, start betting today. All you have to do to enter for a chance at these tickets is hit at betonline_AG on Instagram. Give them a follow at betonline_AG. Tag a friend, the friend you would like to take in their most recent post. We're going through their posts. We're finding the best comment from an RBP listener, and we are going to hook you up with those 2 tickets up to $500 in value. Doesn't matter which post. We're going through a bunch of them, going through all of them. You're just going to have to get lucky. Then sign up for an account, betonline.ag. Use the code Ross, at least $55, up to $1,000. 50% deposit bonus. Winner will be picked from the batch of people who sign up and comment. Get them tickets, kids. Next segment, Hotline Calls. So, it's only right that we close out the year with some Hotline Calls from 888 WR Bolen, right? Grant, I'm going to connect to the Roadcaster thing now because it's been too long. It's been too long. Our number, 888 WR Bolen, is still very in play, very active. Every month on patreon.com/Ross Bolen podcast, we do a hotline call extravaganza, and the Patreon people have their own hotline now, but the public hotline is still a fire factory. It's got like legit 10,000 calls backed up in there from over this year, so it's time to unleash some of the best from this beast. Just a little of the beastie. 888 WR Bolen remains the number. There is a voicemail after the beep. Actually, I believe there's still a false Archer-esque beep in there, created by me. But after the real beep, you leave your message. It can be a question, a hypothetical, a trash or not trash, a serious take. You could be singing a song, sharing a segment suggestion. Maybe you just need somewhere to vent after a long day. Whatever the case, the hotline is there for you. It's open, 888 WR Bolen. I pulled out 5 calls from the hotline today to play for y'all to close out today's show. The first of which is from a very special, very well-known, some might even say infamous listener. Here it is. His name is DJ Crime.
Hey, what's up, Young Bull? It's your boy DJ Crime Dog. Shout out whoever's there. Hey, I got an animal for you, man. I know you're always looking for dope animals. I'm talking about wombats, my guy. Wombats are rad as fuck. They are big marsupials, right? And they live in Australia. And what's dope about wombats is that, A, they're like a missing link in one of them chains. And B, is they kill predators with their ass. Because, like, a wolf or something gets down in the hole trying to get after them. And the wombat has them cheeks, right? They're all caked up. So they take all that ass and they crush their head against the top of their burrows. So, yeah, I just wanted to give you an animal of the week that wasn't a crime dog for once. Big love. You ain't alone. None of y'all. Big love from Crime Dog. Shouts. Look them up. They're tight. Anyway, DJ Crime Dog out. Gang, gang, gang.
That was the infamous DJ Crime Dog calling with some love for the wombat. Shouts to DJ Crime Dog. That's one of my guys. Happy New Year, dude. 2020 is going to be the one. I can feel it. We actually did the wombat as our animal of the week all the way back in episode 178 in May of this year, actually. Not on you, DJ Crime Dog. Not on any of y'all. If you ever suggest a segment, an animal, or a stuff to Wikipedia when you're high, or something that we've already done, man, that's not your fault. I understand we do a lot of episodes. We're 253 deep as of today. It's a lot to keep up with for some of y'all, and I understand that. So sometimes you miss one here or there, or you just straight up forget. You think I remembered that we did the fucking wombat? No, I Googled it. Every time an animal gets suggested, I just Google the Ross Bolen podcast and then that animal, like, cow or whatever. And then I see if it pops up. And if it does, we've done it before. That's how it works. You could do the same thing if you wanted to. But yeah, episode 178, RBP 178, if you want to go hear about the wombat. I believe we did work in how they work, their big donks for defense, but not in the beautifully poetic way that our caller, DJ Crime Dog, did, of course. Respect the wombat! Next call.
Ross, I was recently listening to your 2 Years Without Alcohol pod, and I heard that the segment about sports, sadistic people, whatever the hell it is. Me as a Minnesota sports fan have endured so much pain and suffering. Their Minneapolis St. Paul is the longest drought of a championship with city with all 4 teams. I can totally sympathize with people who just love to see other teams just lose in the playoffs and stuff, and see those fans lose their team. It brings me joy because I've been hurt by so many Minnesota sport teams. I say this is a theme for a lot of Minnesota fans, so I am with that shit. RBP, sick as fuck, love the pod, gang, gang, gang. Peace out.
Okay, shouts to Minnesota and all the Minnesota fans and the state of Minnesota, the second best state in the union behind Texas, of course, as I say. Yeah, our boy is referring to episode 233. There's a segment titled The Sports Sadist, where we discovered a new kind of sports fan. We made an incredible discovery in 2019. It's the kind that doesn't just inexplicably feel pain or accomplishment based on the performance of players on a team they claim, but the kind that feels joy and accomplishment based on the suffering and tears of other sports fans, because this is all they know. It's the only way they can derive happiness from the sports world. And you have to respect them for working the angles. Frankly, as a guy who can almost guarantee the Texans season ends in horribly disappointing fashion, who would not be shocked to see the Rockets rip his heart out of his ass in the playoffs again, who just sat at Game 7 of the World Series with an on-field celebration pass on his wrist that went completely to waste, I am 1,000% with sports sadists rolling into 2020, baby. I'm for this. None of me holding back anymore. Sports sadists, do your thing. I understand the sickness. And frankly, comparatively, this is a healthy outlet. It's a healthy one. I enjoy it. Next call.
Hey, this is Gil from San Francisco, and I just want to say that Ross is extremely wrong about Bohemian Rhapsody and Rocket Man. Bohemian Rhapsody might be one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The movie sucks. And Rocket Man was amazing. So, yeah, figure it out. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, Gil. Okay, Gil from San Francisco, talking about Rocket Man and Bohemian Rhapsody. Look, Bohemian Rhapsody was not good either. But pretending Rocket Man was good is patently fucking insane. Like, was it a new angle they tried? Sure. Was it cool? No. Did it work? Fuck no. Did it ruin Elton John for me permanently? Almost. And I love Elton John, man. I listen to Elton John every goddamn day. I'm not joking. Every day, I bet you I hear at least one Elton John song. Mix one in. I have very strange taste in music. Sometimes I'll listen to a Zero song and then an Elton John song. But no, man, look, people were really pissed off about me talking about these two movies. I got takes from both sides on Twitter. Rocket Man people, Bohemian Rhapsody people. What you both need to understand is both your movies suck. And the lesson to be taken from both films is that if you're going to do a rock biopic, you can't go cheesy and wholesome. You have to go nitty-gritty. Go all the way or not at all. I don't want to see Elton John singing in a faux gay orgy. All right? And they did it in like a fucking Broadway-ish sort of gay orgy. Dude, what are you doing that for? You got Hollywood. You're allowed to do whatever you want. Just do the gay orgy. Do the cocaine. What the shit? You don't have to clean it up for us. What are we, fucking children? What are you, taking your 8-year-old to go see the fucking Elton John movie? The kid doesn't give a shit about Elton John. Never will. Beyond his realm. It's past his time. Were both movies kind of fun? Sure. Is either movie really good? No, the fuck no. No. Fun, watchable maybe. Maybe a good one to catch on like HBO Go to stream when you're sick with the flu or a stomach bug. Hopefully 2020 does a better job if we continue taking shots at films like these, because these two were massively disappointing. And what's funny about both of them is that they were like, well, Bohemian Rhapsody, obviously, Rami Malek, didn't he win Best Fucking Actor for that? And it was like critically, it was nominated for shit. And it was ass, frankly. I mean, you can't just go into a movie and then leave the theater and be like, that's what it was. You got to look at a bigger picture. And for Bohemian Rhapsody, for what you're attacking there, for Queen, you didn't do these guys justice. You didn't do Elton John's story justice either. These were movies that probably shouldn't have been done yet, and if they're going to be done, they need to be done with better execution. You got to go dark. You got to go full-scale biography, truth. And you can't be scared to hit stuff. Like, why is that? Why are we still scared to show gay sex in a movie? We got all kinds of straight sex all the fuck over the place. Couldn't be more straight sex. It's just weird to me that the angles they chose for some of this shit. And I'm speaking of the Rocket Man one, but Bohemian Rhapsody had weird shit too, man. They didn't go full on with what this dude was like. They told like a cleaned up Hollywood version, and it flopped as a result. But both of those movies, for all y'all that are upset, both of them were booty cheeks. Much like 2019 as a whole. Next call.
Ross, it's Griffin from Cincinnati again, brother. My dumb ass just got to the part in the show where you guys corrected yourselves, and boy, do I feel silly. Have a Merry Christmas. Gang, gang, gang.
All right, I can't tell you how many calls we received, how many tweets I've been hit with from people that were listening to Jared and I shred AJ for saying that Andrew Johnson was impeached. We should have known that AJ would know about the President AJ. But we were ripping into him, right? That he and Nixon and Trump are the three that were impeached. And Jared and I, of course, buffoons who believed Richard Nixon was impeached, as so many of you did and probably still do because we're all uncultured swine. And then I get a follow-up tweet or voicemail from every single one of y'all like, okay, you morons finally got there. Thank God, we're good. And this was like a call, one of, I think, probably 14 different hotline follow-ups to an original call that was people being like, you stupid moron, Nixon was never impeached. It was Andrew Johnson, Bill Clinton, and then Donald Trump. And then their second call is, oh, okay, you guys figured it out. You're stupid. Also, incredible Instagram video from Matt Brasho, our intern, one of our many great video interns on our Instagram, recapping this moment, showing you video footage of Jared's face, both roasting AJ and then as he realizes that we were in fact wrong. It was truly one of those just RBP classic moments. And it just makes it that much sweeter, that much more funny and enjoyable when you get these calls and tweets like months later too. Because you got to remember, like for those of y'all, I mean, this just happened, right? But somebody's going to be listening like next July. And I'll get a tweet or a phone call that's like, Andrew Johnson was impeached, you stupid fuck. And that's why I leave the mistakes in the show. We could edit those out, you know. This isn't live. Unless you're watching on Twitch, then it's live. But everybody else, we could edit the shit out. We don't edit it out because it's funny. And it ages like a fine wine. It being mistake. We got one more call today. You want to hear it? Bet your ass you do.
Hi, Ross. This is Sienna and Vanita from Manhattan Beach.
Sienna and
We
Vanita.
were just talking about how Michael's has a monopoly on craft supplies. We were thinking about how there's literally no other craft supply chains, and that Michael has no competitors in the craft supply industry. And we were just feeling like they don't really like get any appreciation for this, or no one's really talking about the fact that there's literally no craft stores besides Michael's. And we just felt like that was a little strange. Let us know what you think. Peace. RBP for life.
Yeah, they weren't high. No, we're all just sitting around thinking about that. That's a normal fucking thought. Okay, holy shit, first of all, a dual female call. I don't think that's ever happened before. I'm aroused. And then Michael's has a monopoly on craft supplies, according to these two ladies. Here's the thing. Down south, we have something called Hobby Lobby that is the Michael's competitor. They're the big craft stores, and they battle. It's like the Cowboys and the Texans. It's a terrible example. Horrible franchises. But you know what I'm saying. It's a rivalry. Hobby Lobby, Michael's. You're either a Hobby Lobby person or you're a Michael's person. And there is a lot of shit that goes into this. You've heard that Kanye song, Chick-fil-A, closed on Sunday, you're my Chick-fil-A. He could have gone with Hobby Lobby. Closed on Sunday, you're my Hobby Lobby. Would it have worked the same? Maybe. Do they have the money that Chick-fil-A has? I don't know. I don't know what their books look like. But I do know this. There's nothing worse. Nothing worse than showing up to a Hobby Lobby on a Sunday because you need some glue to sniff and it's closed. Not going to Chick-fil-A. You go to Chick-fil-A, oh, it's closed. Who fucking cares? Now 18 other restaurants make spicy chicken sandwiches. Go to Popeyes. You know who's not closed on Sunday? Popeyes. You know who doesn't give a shit about God? Popeyes. Popeyes killed God. Popeyes got God's order wrong every time he showed up to the window until he keeled over and died from frustration. I have no idea what this show is anymore. But Michael's and Hobby Lobby are both insufferable places. They have this smell to them, these craft retail shops. It's a very specific smell that you only get when you combine all the elements of crafting into one giant fucking warehouse. And sadness. The smell of sadness. I might start crafting in 2020. You know the aisle I always found myself in Michael's or Hobby Lobby is the one with like the fucking model submarines and airplanes with like 6,000 pieces to them. That, you know, like a 43-year-old, twice divorced alcoholic goes in there and he's like, I got to do something today other than kill myself. And he ends up in that aisle and he gets himself a fucking 6,000 piece submarine and he goes home and puts it together while he drinks a fifth of whiskey. That's what Hobby Lobby and Michael's are all about. But to your point, you know who else is a big competitor of Hobby Lobby and Michael's? The fucking internet. Jeff Bezos invented something that puts both of these stores completely to shame. Yo, you could get that paintbrush delivered in like 6 hours. Hit the buy now, one click button. We all have Amazon Prime. It's like a required thing in 2020. You go sign up for your driver's license. You got to get your registration in your Amazon Prime account in the United States. We've all got it. If you don't have one, you're using somebody's. Speaking of which, if you have an Amazon Prime account, listen carefully. I don't give a shit if you don't like video games. That's fine. If you don't care about Twitch, if you don't want to watch me play video games, fine. But if you do have 2 minutes and you're just bored and feel like throwing me a bone, sign up for a Twitch account. When you have Amazon Prime, you get one free Twitch Prime subscription per month, and you can use that on twitch.tv/bossrollin. I'm stoked that we ended the call with a dual female endeavor, talking about Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and then somehow turning that into a whole nother weirder and more disturbing conversation. I fucking love the hotline. We got to do more calls. Y'all got to stay on my ass. It's harder to remember to do the call. We have so many segments now and guests and fucking, we got the Patreon hotline calls going. So sometimes I feel like I've like gotten my hotline call fix, but y'all haven't. Because the regular ad-based show, y'all here on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, on SoundCloud, you need your hotline calls too. So holler at me. Keep them coming in. First of all, they're fucking phenomenal. I'm basically just clicking at random at this point now because we get so many of them. If I listen to them in order, I'll die. So I click at random. I try to find a handful of good ones or whatever when we do a hotline call segment, and we'll roll from there. So be sure to keep the calls coming in, 888-WR-BOLEN. Again, you can ask a question, sing us a song. If you just need to vent, that's fine. We're not going to play that, obviously, but, do your thing. I'll delete it. But whatever you want the hotline for, it's there. We get a ton of incredible questions from you all. Thank you so much to everybody who's participated by calling 888-WR-BOLEN throughout the course of 2019. Remember to respect the wombat. Okay? It's important. And keep the calls coming. Fresh year, fresh takes. Bring your New Year's takes, your Christmas takes, your holiday takes, your 2020 takes, your best of 2019 takes, all that shit. Bring them to the hotline. We'll knock them out in January. We'll have some fun shows here in this next calendar week-ish. This first week of 2020, we're going to have a lot of fun. Keep the calls coming, and I'll play some more. But yeah, that was our hotline call segment. Phenomenal stuff. And that will do it for today's episode. We have some very important announcements first before you head out to take on the world, though. You've got 2 legal obligations you've been saddled with as a result of having listened to this entire episode. First and foremost, you must rate and review on Apple Podcasts. You can listen on Spotify, listen on SoundCloud, listen on Apple Podcasts. Rate and review on Apple Podcasts, okay? It's still the biggest podcast platform. It's the one where those ratings and reviews do the most damage. Give us 5 stars. Write 2 or 3 sentences about why you love the show. Boom, you've completed your first legal obligation, and it's on to number 2, which is to share RBP with one friend, family member, coworker, neighbor, any one individual that you think would enjoy the Ross Bolen podcast. Share the show with them this week. One person this week, one person next week, one person every week until the week you die. That's how we keep this train rolling. That's how we keep the show growing going into 2020. Again, can't stress this enough. Incredibly important year for RBP, for Bolen Media 2020. And I will aim as high as y'all allow me to with your support. So listen to the show, share the show, rate and review. If you can go above and beyond and you want more RBP, there's only one place for it, patreon.com/Ross Bolen Podcast, 2 additional ad-free exclusive episodes a month. Plus, the merch is coming. I have all of it. It's just a matter of me finding the time to put it up on Patreon. And the second that I do, that shit's going to be gone. It's going to be gone, not just for the people that are already there, for everybody who's not. It's a very small batch, this first batch. It's going to be gone. Fucking quick, fast, quick math. Man's not hot. What's happening here? Follow us on Instagram at the Ross Bolen Podcast, on Twitter at Ross Bolen Pod. We're also on Facebook.com. Somewhere, if you're the middle-aged aunt of one of our listeners, you can figure out how the rest of the URL goes. Check out Bolen Media's TV and film podcast this holiday season as well if you've got more time during your travels. Oysters, Clams, and Cockles is what it's called. If you enjoyed The Mandalorian, the finale of the first season just aired. We're going to be discussing that. If you enjoyed His Dark Materials, we've been roasting the tits off that. What else are we watching? I don't remember off the top. But Oysters, Clams, and Cockles is available everywhere that RBP is available. Oh, we watched, over the course of this year, we watched a lot of stuff. But we watched Succession, was phenomenal. Fleabag Season 2, phenomenal. Watchmen, phenomenal. We've been all up in all kinds of shows all year long on Oysters, Clams, and Cockles. Y'all know how we call our listenership here the RBP gang. OCC has the Clam Fam. And Oysters, Clams, and Cockles was named that way because of a Game of Thrones line. If you're wondering, why would you name a television and film podcast a bunch of shellfish? That's the answer. Because it was hysterical at the time. People love it. People, especially Macy Williams. She really loves it. She told me. That'll do it for RBP 253. And for 2019 as a whole. We fucking survived. We did it. It's a miracle. Holy shit. Last episode of the year. Recorded and produced by Mike Moody and Grant Davis at Permanent Record Studios in Austin, Texas. We will be back in the coming days. I believe Thursday. We'll be back Thursday. January, what is that? Help me out, Grant. January 2nd. Got it. I did it. He's fucking looking at me like, dude, what? I don't have a calendar in front of me. January 2nd, we'll be back Thursday with RBP 254. Yeah. No, thank y'all again for all the support all year long. Podman gets paid. Respect Mr. Park. Strength and honor. Gang, gang, gang. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever else, or unhappy version of whatever it is that you celebrate. Keep your heads up. We're rolling. We're rolling into a new calendar. Anything is possible. Kevin Garnett said it. I'm saying it too. Peace be with you and also with you.
Go low, baby.